My name is Sarah Miller, and people say you always remember the moment your life changes forever. For me, it was a rainy Thursday night, the kind where the sky feels heavy, like it knows something you don't. I was sitting on the couch, wrapped in a blanket, half watching some crime documentary while answering emails when my phone buzzed. An unknown number. I almost didn't pick up. "Mrs. Miller?" a voice asked. "This is St. Mark's Hospital. Your husband, Jayden Miller. He's been in an accident." My heart punched my ribs. I didn't even hear the rest. I grabbed my shoes, my keys, and was out the door before the phone slid from my hand onto the passenger seat. The drive felt endless. The city lights were blurry from the rain, and I kept wiping my eyes even though I wasn't crying yet. I kept saying, "Please let him be okay," over and over like the repetition could make it true. Inside the hospital, everything was too bright, too white, too quiet. I went straight to the front desk and said Jayden's name, breathless and shaking. A nurse walked up, older, sharp eyes, calm voice. Her badge said, Evelyn Hayes. She looked at me longer than necessary, then asked, "You're his wife?" "Yes," I said, trying to steady myself. "Is he okay?" She didn't answer. Instead, she said, "Come with me, quickly." She led me down a hallway. I thought she was taking me to Jayden, but she stopped outside a small consultation room, put her hand on the doorknob, then hesitated. She turned to me, her face tight with something like warning. "Whatever you do," she whispered, "don't go inside right now. Stay here. And listen." I froze. "Why? What's going on?" Her voice dropped lower. "Trust me." She opened the door just an inch, enough that voices inside spilled out. She nudged me behind a curtain in the hallway, hidden, but close enough to hear everything clearly. At first I heard rustling papers, then a laugh. Jayden's laugh. I would recognize it anywhere, except I'd never heard it sound so carefree in a hospital after a supposed accident. Another laugh joined in, female, high-pitched, flirtatious. Then a third voice, his mother, Linda. The three people who should never have been in that room together laughing in that moment were gathered behind that door. Jayden said, "Man, that was close. If they had called Sarah, she would have freaked." My blood went cold. I covered my mouth, willing myself not to make a sound. The woman's voice, later I'd learn her name was Amber, said, "Do you think she suspects anything?" Jayden scoffed. "Sarah, she's too trusting. She doesn't look at bank statements. She doesn't even know where half the files are. She buys whatever story I give her." Linda chimed in. "Well, you better hope so. If she finds out you forged her signature..." "Relax," Jayden said. "We already transferred the 45 grand. And the house paperwork? Done. Amber's name is on it. By the time Sarah realizes, it'll be too late." Amber giggled. "You're terrible." "Yeah," he said. "But worth it. Worth it." I felt the world tilt. My hands shook so hard the curtain rustled, and for a second I was terrified they had heard me. But they were too busy celebrating the destruction of my life. Linda added, "Just play it cool when she shows up. She'll buy whatever you tell her." Jayden laughed again. "That's why I married her. Easy." I felt something inside me break and harden at the same time. When the voices faded and the door finally closed, my knees buckled. I slid down the wall, silent sobs ripping out of me. Nurse Evelyn rushed to me, wrapping her arms around my shoulders. "I'm so sorry you heard that," she whispered. "But now you know the truth, and you need to be smart." I don't know what to do," I choked out. "Don't confront him," she said firmly. "Not yet. If you want justice, let him think you're still blind. Silence is your weapon right now." Her voice steadied me like nothing else could have. I wiped my tears, nodded and whispered, "Okay." When I got home, Jayden wasn't there yet. I sat on the couch in the dark, hands clasped so tightly my knuckles were white. I didn't sleep. I waited. He finally walked in around 2 a.m., limping dramatically, smelling faintly of someone else's perfume. "Baby," he said, "I didn't want to wake you. The hospital gave me painkillers. I'm okay, just shaken." I remember staring at him thinking, "You've destroyed everything," but instead I said, I'm glad you're safe. My voice didn't crack. He smiled like I'd just massaged his ego. For the next week, I played my role, the loyal, clueless wife. Every night when he showered or fell asleep, I searched. It turns out Jayden was only smart enough to commit fraud, not smart enough to hide it properly. I found bank transfers, email chains, a digital signature template he'd copied onto documents. I found messages between him and Amber, pictures he had taken of my own signature to forge it. I found voice memos he kept as reminders, including one where he literally said, "Don't forget to transfer Sarah's house deed tomorrow." I saved everything, organized it, backed it up. The final blow was a video message he sent to Amber. "Sunday I'll take Sarah to dinner and tell her I'm leaving. After that, I'm all yours." That was the night I met attorney Olivia Barnes. Her office smelled like leather and ambition. She listened quietly as I told her everything, showed her everything, and when I finished, she leaned back, steepling her fingers. "Sarah," she said, "we have him. Completely. But you must continue pretending until the exact moment we serve him. Let him think he's winning." I nodded, and something inside me clicked into place. The Sarah Jayden knew was gone. The Sarah who rose in her place was different. Sunday came. He dressed nicely, cologne and all, acting nervous and guilty. "I want to talk about something important," he said in the car. "I've been thinking a lot about us." I nodded, keeping my face blank. At the restaurant, a fancy place lit with gold chandeliers, he held my hands across the table. "Sarah, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. I've met someone. She makes me feel alive. I never meant to hurt you." I stared at him, silent, and I think we should separate. Peacefully. I reached into my purse, pulled out the thick folder Olivia helped me assemble, and set it on the table. His eyes flicked down, confused. "What's this?" "Proof," I said quietly. He opened it. The colour drained from his face. His mouth hung open, trembling slightly. Before he could speak, a man walked up to our table. "Jayden Miller, you've been served." The entire restaurant heard it. Jayden stammered, "Sarah, what is this? I can explain. This is insane." I stood, calmly picked up my purse and leaned close enough that only he could hear me. I heard everything. I walked away. Jayden called after me, but I didn't look back. The months that followed were brutal. For him. Not for me. I had armor now. Evidence. Courtrooms. Depositions. Tears from Linda. Lies from Amber. Jayden caving under pressure. Olivia slicing through every excuse they tried to make. The judge was not kind. Jayden was given a suspended sentence, a hefty fine, and he was fired when the fraud charges hit the local news. Amber was forced to repay the entire $45,000 and lost her apartment when she couldn't. Linda? Most people in her family cut ties. No one wants to be associated with a woman who encourages her son to steal from his own wife. As for me, I kept my home, I kept my savings, I kept my dignity. And I kept something even more valuable, my clarity. Months later, I walked back into St. Mark's Hospital carrying a bouquet of lilies. Nurse Evelyn looked surprised when she saw me. "I wanted to thank you," I told her. She gave me a soft smile. "You found your strength, Sarah." "No," I said. "You helped me use it." And that's the truth. Sometimes the loudest thing you can do is stay quiet. Sometimes silence is strategy. And strategy wins. If you like more of these stories, like, subscribe and share to your friends and family. Another story coming soon. If there's one thing my story has taught me, it's this. Life doesn't always give you the love you expect, but sometimes it gives you the love you need. A love that doesn't arrive perfect or polished, but raw, honest, and willing to grow beside you. For years, I thought my heart had already lived its best chapter. I thought being a single mom meant my story was mostly about responsibility, survival, and keeping my child safe. But I've learned that strength doesn't mean closing yourself off. Sometimes strength is allowing yourself to be chosen again. Allowing someone to see your scars and still hold your hand. This journey taught me that people can change, if they want to. Even the coldest hearts can learn warmth. Even the most arrogant people can learn humility when love finally finds them. And even the most guarded souls like me can bloom again when someone treats them with patience instead of pressure. To every single mom listening, you are not too much. You are not too hard to love. You are not someone's second choice. You deserve a love that respects your journey, honors your sacrifices, and embraces your child as part of your heart, not an obstacle. And to anyone afraid to love again because of past heartbreaks, remember this: the people who hurt you were chapters, not the whole book. You are allowed to turn the page. You are allowed to hope again. You are allowed to meet someone who reminds you that love can be gentle. That love can be a safe place, not a battlefield. I learned that the right person doesn't make your life perfect. They make it peaceful. They don't complete you. They support you. They don't just say, "I love you." They show it in the small, consistent ways that matter more than grand gestures. So, if you're standing in your own storm right now, wondering if love is still possible for you, trust me, it is. Love finds us when we least expect it, often in the person we once misunderstood, once feared, or once overlooked. My story isn't a fairy tale. It's proof that healing is messy, growth is slow, and love, real love, is patient. It waits. It listens. It stays. And maybe that's the biggest lesson of all. No matter where you've been, no matter who walked away, no matter how many times you had to rebuild, your heart is still worthy. Your dreams are still valid. Your future is still wide open. Because love doesn't always show up when you're ready, but it always shows up when you're meant to receive it.